It was the year 1612. On a remote, windswept island in Japan, two of the most legendary swordsmen in history were about to face each other in a duel that would be etched into the annals of time forever. On one side stood Miyamoto Musashi, the infamous and unconventional Ronin. On the other, Sasaki Kojiro, a master of the katana, celebrated for his precision and grace. This wasn't just a battle of skill, it was a clash of wills, a contest of philosophies. The outcome of this single duel would not only decide their fates, but would also shape the very legacy of the samurai. Musashi was no ordinary swordsman. He was a wanderer, a duelist who had already carved a fearsome reputation for himself by winning countless battles across Japan, often against multiple opponents. But his most famous and defining battle was yet to come. To prepare, he didn't polish a family blade or meditate in a dojo. Instead, while crossing the strait to Ganryu Island, he took a spare oar from the boatman and began to carve it, fashioning a long, crude wooden sword. This was Musashi's way, unpredictable and utterly practical. His opponent, Kojiro, was the polar opposite, a celebrated swordsman known for his signature move, the swallow cut, and his exceptionally long blade, the drying pole. He stood on the shore, confident in his refined technique and elegant style. He was a master of the established forms, a prodigy of the sword, fully expecting to dispatch Musashi with practiced ease. But Musashi wasn't playing by the rules of tradition. He had a different kind of plan. As the appointed hour for the duel arrived, Kojiro waited and waited. Musashi was late, deliberately late. This was a psychological tactic, a calculated move to unnerve his opponent. For a samurai, punctuality was a pillar of honor, and Musashi's tardiness was a deep insult, causing Kojiro's calm confidence to curdle into frustration and anger. When Musashi's boat finally drifted to shore, he stepped out, not with an apology, but with a calm, almost detached demeanor, and in his hand, he held not a gleaming, finely crafted katana, but the rough-hewn wooden sword he had carved from an oar. Kojiro was insulted, enraged. He was here for a duel of masters, and his opponent showed up late with what looked like a stick. The battle was as fierce as it was brief. Blinded by rage, Kojiro drew his famous long sword and, in a fit of pique, threw his scabbard into the sea, declaring he would have no more use for it. Musashi simply replied, "If you have no more use for your scabbard, you are already dead." This further enraged Kojiro. The fight began. Kojiro, with his razor-sharp katana, expected a traditional exchange, but Musashi, with his unmatched focus and strategic genius, remained a puzzle. Every strike, every parry, every step was calculated. His longer, heavier wooden weapon gave him an unexpected reach, an impact advantage. Musashi used his surroundings brilliantly. He positioned himself with the morning sun at his back, forcing Kojiro to squint into the blinding light. He lured Kojiro closer to the water's edge, using the terrain to disrupt his footing. He threw Kojiro off balance, not just physically, but mentally. Then, in a flash, as Kojiro lunged, Musashi brought his wooden oar sword down with immense force, a single, decisive blow that crushed Kojiro's skull. The master swordsman, the pride of his domain, collapsed onto the sand, defeated. Musashi stood over him, his expression unreadable, a victor through sheer cunning and unconventional brilliance. He had sealed his place in history. In the end, Musashi didn't just defeat a man, he defeated an idea. He proved that the true strength of a warrior lies not in rigid tradition or flashy techniques, but in adaptability, strategy, and the courage to think beyond the ordinary. The duel on Ganryu Island is remembered as one of the greatest in samurai history, a powerful testament to the unpredictability and resourcefulness of the human spirit. Miyamoto Musashi would later write the Book of Five Rings, a masterpiece on strategy that is still studied today, cementing his legacy not just as a warrior, but as a master of the mind. And Kojiro, his tragic end serves as a timeless lesson. Skill alone is never enough. True victory belongs to those who master timing, strategy, and the battlefield of the mind. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this legendary tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from history. We'll see you next time.